Hello, I've been asked by quite a few people now what's happening about my visa to get into Australia to speak there in Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane next summer. Well, the answer is nothing. And this question is very legitimate. Why is the government of a country so apparently fearful of someone living 13,000 miles away coming in and speaking in a free country, apparently, to people in Australia who the government's supposed to represent and whose freedom they're supposed to represent, choosing to come along and listen. Because what is happening with this delay is ridiculous. It's 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 the playground, basically. Let me give you some background. I spoke in Melbourne in 2009. I applied for a visa, I got one, and when I arrived at the airport, I was stopped at immigration, and I was taken into this room. Actually, it was straight out of the bloody Matrix. Really bright white room with no windows, and I was given this document to read, and it says that if I create discord in Australia, who me, um, then I could be thrown out of the country and not allowed back in. And I was asked to sign this document saying I'd read it. And so I go off, speak in Melbourne, lovely people, get on the plane, come home. I went back in 2011. Visa took a bit more time this time. Normally, you kind of apply online and you get it, and that's it. Get it almost immediately. It came back that they couldn't do that. It had to be basically looked at by the government. Now I'm sitting in this little office um, in a little flat 13,000 miles away from this big, powerful Australian government, and it's concerned about me coming into its country and saying what I've got to say about the way people are controlled globally and in individual countries. Um, and so I went off to Australia with a visa that eventually came through some weeks later. I think it was about 2 weeks, actually, 3 weeks. And I got to the airport and I'm stopped again. It's quite funny. I'm kind of used to it in Australia now. I stood in line to go through immigration with my passport, and there was someone on the other side standing looking at me. I thought, I know that look. So I changed lines. And they changed lines as well. So I thought, okay, yeah, all right, get the picture. So I go through, get stopped again, loads of questions, takes my passport back into the back room, wherever they go. Um, and then, I don't know what happened in between, but they weren't very pleasant actually at the start. When they came back, they couldn't be nicer. Um, so what happened in between, I don't know. And I go off and I speak in Perth and Sydney and um, the Gold Coast and Melbourne and all over the place. Um, all fine, big audiences, nice people, no problem, no discord. Um, and I came home, and then we're going to do this world tour next year, 2016, going to the United States, to places all over Europe, and to Australia and New Zealand. So in early September, me and my son Jamie, who's organising it from this end anyway, Um, we applied for visas to go into Australia this coming summer so I could speak at these events in Melbourne, Sydney, and Brisbane. Well, his came through in seconds. I mean, the speed was almost immediate. Mine was turned down, and I was told that I had to apply for another type of visa. Well, funnily enough, I didn't in 2009, and I didn't in 2011, but suddenly now I do. So, like I say, that was early September, and what came was this form. Now, they know who I am. They know what I do. That's why they are playing silly buggers every time I want to go in Australia. So all this stuff that's followed in terms of the visa this time is all nonsense. It's all, for me, childlike. Going through the motions of getting you to fill in. This is it. Look, it's pages and pages and pages and pages. You know, everything but what was your favourite food at age 18 months. It's headed Australian government, Department of Immigration and Border Protection, and personal particulars for assessment, including character assessment. I'm sure they think I'm lovely. Anyway, among the things I have to fill in all this stuff is, have you travelled to any country other than Australia in the last 10 years? If so, name them. So you have to list all the countries you've been to for the last 10 years. And like I say, I've been to Australia. I've done what I want to do again this time. Before, they know all about me. This is all bullshit. And it's not just me that they're doing it to. They're doing it to other people, like another researcher called Ken O'Keefe. Anyway, says here, give details of all employment and unemployment since birth. All I want to do, as I've done before, is to go in and present 3 all-day events of my information so people in Australia can make the free choice in a alleged free society to listen and make of it what they will. That is the most basic, fundamental of what is claimed to be a free society. And yet you go through all this each time, worse this time. And it's almost like we don't want him to come, but if we ban him, will that reflect on us much worse than if we just let him come in and say what he's got to say and leave? So this third way is to delay and delay and delay and delay, making it more and more difficult to get run-up time for these events in the summer, because you can't really press the button on that if I don't have permission to come in. You see what's going on? So it's all my employment and unemployment since birth. Give details of all education and qualifications since birth. I'm a researcher. I just want to deliver my research and go home. What's that got to do with it? What's any of that got to do with it? Nothing. It's all delay. It's all will make him jump through hoops. What's this one? Children, including biological or adopted children from a current previous marriage, all stepchildren and deceased children. What's that got to do with what I want to do and I've done before in Australia? Parents, including biological parents, adopted parents, step-parents, legal guardians and deceased parents. Ditto. What's that got to do? Siblings, including full, half, adopted brothers and sisters. And then there's a list of relating to my character, including have I been charged or indicted for war crimes, crimes against humanity, torture, slavery, or any other crime that is otherwise of a serious international concern. My answer to that, no, because I don't work for government. And so it goes on, page after page after page. There are many people in Australia increasingly who are very concerned about what's happening there. Things like you don't get benefits unless you are vaccinated, or you have children vaccinated, as the government insists, where more and more Big Brother state is being imposed. And this is not just about me and a trip to Australia to speak. This is about basic freedoms in Australia and the right of Australians to hear what they choose to hear and make of it what they choose to make of it. Because if I am not allowed into Australia, and that's what they're desperate to bring about, then where is the freedom in Australia anymore? Where someone cannot come in to deliver information that people want to hear, so those people can choose to hear it. There is no freedom. And you know, whenever you look at places of alleged freedom or no freedom, the authorities are always frightened of information that challenges the norms, the prevailing perceptions of reality. And this question, why is the Australian government so frightened of David Icke, is really, why is the Australian government so frightened of information that it doesn't control? And so it's now months since the application was made, and every time there is a query, it's in process, which is exactly what others again who are trying to do the same thing. It's clearly systematic, it's clearly blatant, and it's clearly undemocratic and beyond democratics. It's against freedom, the most basic freedoms of free expression and the right to choose to hear what people choose to hear. So there is a email address with this video where people who choose to ask the Australian authorities what's going on can do so. And the sun comes out. A lot of sun in Australia. I'd like to enjoy it between delivering information that people need to hear. Your support will be welcome. Thanks for listening.